Very pleasant good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to O'Neill's Grill for our weekly Fan and Press Luncheon with JMU basketball coaches Kenny Brooks. And in just a short while, we'll also hear from Matt Brady. Well, the JMU women's basketball Dukes this past week continued their winning streak, now 13 in a row. They went to Towson on Thursday, defeated the Tigers 73-54. That was career win number 302 for one Kenny Brooks, and that tied him with Sheila Mormon atop the all-time list of career coaching wins for JMU women's basketball. Then yesterday, a very special day at the Convocation Center as the Dukes, well, they did have their way with the Delaware Blue Hens, 94-64. The Streamers did fly afterwards as Coach Kenny Brooks registered his 303rd win. Coach, you've had an evening to sleep on it now. You talked about it sinking in after the game yesterday. Now you've had 24 hours, near about, to reflect back on what yesterday was all about.
A very special day. Leading into the week, the game, you're focused. You understand that, you don't want outside distractions to be the reason that you don't continue on your winning ways. And so I thought the kids did a fantastic job of really staying humble through it all, not letting it become a distraction. We went out and we played extremely well. And, as time has gone by, I've had a time to reflect on it. And just the many people that have really helped us get to this point. There's numerous people, whether it's been assistant coaches, whether it's been the players, whether it's been administration, just everyone who's had a big hand in this, and it's been tremendous. The outpouring of emails and texts that I received, messages through Twitter and whatnot, they've all been very, very special, and I really appreciate the support that we've gotten from so many people. It just means a lot. It means a lot to me, my family, to the program. I think the best email that I got was from President Alger, and he said he was very proud of us and what we've done, and just for me to realize that from here on out every win is breaking another record, and it kind of put it into perspective for me, and it was actually very neat. But it's just tremendous to be able to be a part of a program and to help it to 303 wins in itself is very, very special.
It was also pretty interesting, I thought, that so many players contributed to that win yesterday. It was definitely a team effort, and you could tell throughout the game that your players are doing exactly as you like for them to, and that was play for one another.
It is, and it's been a work in progress all season long, and you and I have talked about it with David Taylor. We talked about, inventing ourselves and probably have to reinventing ourselves to the point to get to where we are right now. And I knew this could be a very special team if they understood their roles, they bought into their roles, and they started to play for one another. And, that's why our theme for the year has been one. Let's be one, let's go out and play for each other. And they've done so. They've done so, and I'm extremely proud of them. Some of them are sacrificing. We have kids. You look at a kid like Ashley Perez, who could be a starter probably for every other team in our league, but she comes off the bench for us, understands what she needs to do, and she's doing it and doing it well. To freshmen that, we really didn't anticipate playing as much, but found a way to get into the rotation and playing well. So everyone's doing really what they need to do. No one is really set and stuck on accolades or getting a certain amount of points, a certain amount of rebounds. They just want to go out and play for one another. And we're very balanced team. You look at it. Some people call it a luxury. Sometimes it's a headache when I have Griffin and Destiny Jones. I never know which one's going to play well, but to know that one of them's probably going to play well, that's a luxury. Griffin came out yesterday. I had 15.6 rebounds. And in very impressive fashion. So we're very fortunate to have the kids that we do. Precious Hall comes out and gets 23 points, and we're just like, it's another day at the office, which, we really need to understand that that's a very special outing. Lady Oka for 18 and 11 yesterday. So we're very balanced, very balanced. It's very hard to try to take away. My family just walked in. Take away. I was like, hey, I know her. Take away one part of our game, and so it's really special what we have going on.
With the large lead that you had, particularly in the second half yesterday, how much did that afford you the luxury of maybe working in a few new plays or trying a few different things that may come in handy as you go down the stretch here in conference play and obviously into the postseason.
It was big. It was really secondary to what we were trying to accomplish, though. We had a meeting after the Towson game as we were about to watch film for Delaware, and I went around the room and I talked to the leaders of the team, and I wanted them to express to me in their words what was going on, the reason that we were getting these big leads and relinquishing them. We didn't lose the games, but we had a 26-point lead at Hofstra. It got down to 4. We had a 24-point lead at Drexel. I think it got down to maybe 15 or so. And the same thing happened with Towson. We were up 22, and it got down to 11. And we talked about it. And they identified the problem. They talked about the fact that maybe we didn't have a sense of urgency as much when we got the lead as we did when we were trying to build the lead. They talked about, just really losing a little bit of focus, and we wanted to work on that. So when we got a big lead, we lost it. We were up by 18 to start the game, and they cut it to 6, I think it was, but we regrouped. And when we went back to what got us there, and once we got to that point and we really, extended the lead to, I think it was almost 40 points at one time, we were able to work on some things. We did. We switched up our zone. We tried a couple of different zones. We actually implemented a press yesterday that we haven't run all year. And we ran it last year, and we felt like it would be more suited for what we were trying to accomplish. And the kids, they did a fantastic job with it. I thought it really threw Delaware off. We were able to disrupt them, but not only disrupt them, but we were able to get some steals. And so it was really good, and I thought they did a really good job of keeping the lead, continuing the lead, also working on a few things. And so it was overall, it was a really good outing.
I know when you play Drexel, you don't want to show too much just simply because of the way that Drexel plays, but any concern with showing things this late in the season, or does that just make the opposition worry that much more about the so many multiple ways that you can come at a team offensively as well as defensively?
I'm not sure what they're thinking about us right now, other than that we're playing pretty well, and so I mean we have a lot of sets on offense, and we don't run them all during the course of a game, and a lot of them, some of them are better suited for some teams than they are for others. And so the night before a game or even the day of the game, I'm taking a handful of plays that we'll probably run, and we don't go through the whole gamut. And so some of them are pretty consistent that we'll run, game to game, but some of them we pull out we haven't run in 3 or 4 games. So I'm not really sure if they can really watch a game film from us, and say that we're going to do the same thing to them. Defensively the same way. The one thing that's going to be sure is we're going to play you man-to-man. We may sprinkle in some zone, we may not, so you can try to prepare for it. And it's ironic that you asked me that, because we have a basic zone offense that we run, and what I've found out, leading up to this year, because so many teams in our league play zone, that's the first play they see. They see it and they practice it, and so they practice for it, and so when we call it out, they're calling out our motions and what we're trying to do and what we're going to do. They're trying to really talk their team through it. So now we don't even run it in the beginning. We kind of wait till they get fatigued a little bit, and then we'll run it in the middle of the game, and it works pretty well. So, but we have kids. We don't want to just teach them plays. We want to teach them how to play against zones. So if you do know our play, we're able to break it down and still get the shots and stuff that we need.
All right, we're going to turn it over to other members of the media here at O'Neill's Grill as we continue with our weekly fan and press luncheon with JMU women's basketball coach Kenny Brooks.
In regards to Dee Griffin, what clicked for her that she got a career high yesterday? What clicked for her so far this season?
If I knew, I would bottle it up, and I'd probably wouldn't be sitting here. I'd be a millionaire somewhere else. But Dee's a talent. We understand that. We're just trying to get her to become consistent, and she was well on her way, probably early mid-January, and she sustained a concussion. And it really threw her back. Conditioning is a big part of her game. If she's in good shape, then she can get to her skill set. When she becomes fatigued, that's when really she's not able to get to her skill set so much. Yesterday was a really good game for her. I thought she played extremely well, up to her capabilities. We even had a moment. I've been teaching her, and this is going to sound funny, but I've been teaching her the Kareem sky hook. And no kids, they don't even know who Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is anymore. And they have to Google them. But, to show her that move, because she was getting her shot blocked, quite a bit, because she's not as tall as some of the other post players. So we actually worked on that move. And I've actually threatened her a couple of times to say, if you don't do this move in practice, you're going to have to run a suicide. And so we got in the game yesterday, and she caught the ball, and she took a dribble, and as she started to wind up to go into it, I thought to myself, oh my goodness, she's about to do it. And she tried it, and she got fouled and went to the free throw line. And as she went to it, I mean, it was, I got chills on my body, and I stood up immediately on the bench, and I looked at her, and I pointed at her, and she had this big smile on her face, and it was a really cool moment, just because she's taking what we're teaching her and trying to apply it not only in a practice setting, but in a game setting. You know, and we've told her she's our future. You know, you look at it, our play right now, and you know, Lady Okafor is going to be gone next year. Toya Jiggets is going to be gone next year. And we're going to need her to step up and be able to perform on a consistent basis. And there's no doubt in my mind that she'll be able to do it. She'll be next man up in that scenario. But I think yesterday was a very important game for her to get some confidence.
Speaking of consistency, I think you're getting a lot more of that from Angela Mickens, and I think the secret's out that she's co-player of the week in the CAA this week. What more do you think she can do? What more can she do to reach her potential so that she's the best player she can be by, you know, come March time?
No, she can. She still has a high ceiling. She has come nowhere close to her ability of what she can be. She's made tremendous strides right now, and for that, I am extremely proud of her. You know, and I've had a few moments where, you know, you take upon pretty much the underdog position. Andre Benvenuto was a point guard that I had when I first started, and from what she was when she walked in to what she became when she walked out, when she received all-conference accolades by averaging 6 points a game and 6 assists a game, and she was recognized as being an all-conference player her senior year, one of my biggest accomplishments, one of my most proudest moments as a coach. And, you know, I was very happy when she received that. To Nikki Newman, you know, who unsung because she doesn't score a lot, and then when she became Defensive Player of the Year and became All-Conference, you know, major accomplishment. I was very, very happy for her. Muff Mickens is in the same lines because she goes out and she doesn't grab the headlines every night like a Precious might or a Lady Okafor might, but for her to be recognized as Player of the Week, you know, I heard a lot of good news today, and some might think that the national attention that we're getting is really what drives us. But when I heard that news, you know, it's okay. But when I heard the news that Muff Mickens is Player of the Week, that's when I got chill bumps, you know, because she's done so much for our program. And you know, it's a big question mark this year. Big question mark, because when you lose your leaders and you don't really have a traditional point guard with a lot of experience, I didn't know what, you know, and myself, me and Muff, we're an old couple, and we argue, and you know, we argued in the beginning, and she didn't even have a really good spring. I mean, we went through a stretch probably, and I'm not ashamed to say it, but we went through a stretch this spring where we didn't talk, you know, for probably a couple weeks because I was mad at her, and you know, and what she's done and where she's come right now, I just can't explain it, and one of the best ways I can explain it is, she's playing so well, and I'm so hard on my point guards. You ask anyone, you know, me and my point guards argue, we battle, and we love each other, but I'm really hard on them. My expectations are so high that I usually don't tell them how great they are until they leave, you know, because I'm constantly trying to build them up, you know, and trying to make them work hard. And after the Towson game, you know, it was probably 2 minutes to go in the game, and the game was in hand, and she came over to me, and we were talking, and I told her, "You're a great point guard." And it slipped out, and I'm like, I probably shouldn't have said it, you know, but she just backed that up with another great performance yesterday, and she makes us go. She does, and I'm very proud of her, very happy for anything that she achieves because she deserves it, and she's a big part of why we are successful right now.
Coach, I want to go back to, before we move along with Dave's question, back to Muff Mickens. Very versatile athlete, and you should go and look at, as your team came back onto the floor after the first time out yesterday, how Muff just assimilated right into the Duquette dance line and was involved with the dancing exhibition there as well. So obviously she's got all kinds of talents.
The evolution of coaching, all right, because I have to evolve, and I didn't see it. My brother, who's our biggest fan, you know, I talked to him this morning, and he told me about it. You know, I think I saw Toya kind of dancing with him a little bit, and old Coach Brooks would have been in a frenzy if I saw that. And this group is special. They're special, and I think that they deal with some of the pressures that we might call pressure by understanding that this is a game. This is their college experience. They're not going to have much of it, left, or once it's over with, it's over with. And I know I can look into their eyes and tell they're focused. And as long as they're focused, and they're having fun doing it at the same time, what better experience can you have? And if you're playing in front of 4,500, especially in the women's basketball, because we go so many places where we might play in front of 45 people, but if you can play in front of 4,500 people and you're playing well and you can have a good time, that's something that you'll always remember for the rest of your life.
I don't know if Michael also told you that she went into that dance routine after having a very serious conversation with Destiny Jones before they went back out on the floor. So
she's very versatile then.
No doubt, Dave.
Well, continue to talk about Muff Mickens. Would you consider her your defensive leader? The charges she takes, I noticed right off the bat yesterday, she was really defending all the way up the floor, away from the ball. Is she kind of your defensive focal point for
Well, yeah, she is, because it starts with her. And we don't have the Nikki Newman where we can say, Nikki, you're going to guard the point guard, or you're going to guard the 2 or the 3. So Muff is really the one who gets it going, and she changes the game, changes the complexion of the game, because she does take so many charges, and I just hope that the rest of the league understands that, because maybe she doesn't lead the league in steals, maybe she doesn't lead the league in blocks, but what she probably does lead the league in is charges taken, and that's a turnover in itself, and it also puts another foul on an opponent. And I've seen her do it to the best of players. She took one early on Courtney Green yesterday. I think she took one on Erica Brown, and we've even gotten the ball to the point where if they get the ball in the post and they're posting her up and they go to make a move, she's there, she takes a charge, and it really bails us out. So I think she's the best defender in the league. I think she's the best point guard in the league. And David asked me, he asked me a question, she's nowhere near her ceiling, but she can get better. And, I think one of the areas that she can get better is working on her jump shot, which she has done. The mid-range jump shot looks great. We're looking to extend it out to the three-point line where people are going to have to respect it. And once we get that down pat, there's no question in my mind that she can improve and get better and better and better.
How much coaching do you see from them amongst themselves when they're on the floor, when you and your coaches are huddled getting ready to address them in a timeout? How much talking do you see them do amongst themselves?
A lot. And now, as you phrased it, they are coaching each other now. And we as coaches had to coach them on how to coach each other, because in the beginning of the season they were kind of yelling at each other, and their form of coaching was talking about, yelling, and they weren't ready to listen to their peers and to listen to what they were saying as opposed to how it was being said. And we've come a long way. We've come a long way. And that's part of my job, is to let them figure it out and let them think that they are figuring it out on themselves. But it's almost like parenting. And, I don't want to go in and say this is the way you have to lead, because it's not them leading. It's me telling them how to lead. But we've taught them how to understand it. And now even Muff was a yeller, and her way of trying to get someone to understand it was yelling at them. And if you ever heard Muff yell, she already talks fast, but she talks faster when she yells. And kids were walking away like, did she just yell at me, or am I in trouble? What was she just saying? And now she's learning how to get her point across. And they follow her. They follow her, and if she says it, they really take it to heart of what she's saying. And now she's knowing how to say it. And you watch us, we're becoming a much calmer team, and we're playing for one another.
Well, Coach, it's been a season of great accomplishments already. 2 players, 1,000 points in their career. Of course, the program gets its 1,000th win. You get your 300, 303, and we just learned that you're now nationally ranked number 23 on the Associated Press poll, which is the first time since 2009 the Dukes have appeared in the AP Top 25. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. I kind of knew that, and I couldn't let it all out. But, our sports media people do a fantastic job. But, it's great. It's great to be recognized as one of the top teams in the country. But again, like I said, when you have kids like a Muff Mickens and she's getting some of the attention she deserves, it's equally as proud. But right now, we'll just take that as motivation. Motivation that we're probably going to have a target on our back wherever we go. Whenever you have that little number beside your name, I think you get the best out of your opponents. But very, very, very well deserved for a bunch of young ladies who have worked extremely hard all year and really bought into the system and represent it well.
Okay, anything else from members of the media? Nope, not this afternoon. Coming up this week, the Duke schedule looks like this. They'll hit the road. They'll go to Wilmington, the beachfront, which sounds pretty nice right now considering what we got here in the Valley. And that is against UNCW on Thursday, a 7 o'clock tip-off. And then next Sunday, the Dukes at home against the Pride of Hofstra. Tip-off time will be 2 o'clock, the Dukes and the Pride next Sunday. The next to last home, actually, there's 3 home games remaining for the Dukes, so back-to-back home games coming up for James Madison. Thank you for joining us here with Coach Kenny Brooks, and we'll invite Coach Matt Brady of the JMU men's basketball Dukes to join us in just a couple of moments.